Hey guys, Soccer from sakitech, and in today's video we are going to be sharing the first things to do on your Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. This is a very expensive high-end smartphone. I want to make sure you guys maximize your ownership by configuring these initial settings properly. So let's dive in and get started right away. Now the very first thing I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go to your settings, pull it down, go to the settings, and go all the way down and go into About Phone. Now once you are in the About Phone, I want you guys to tap on the rename button right here and actually give your phone a personalized name. So in my case, I can say Saki S25 and I can tap on done. Now what's going to happen is every time I try to connect to my phone using another device, or if another device is searching for my phone via Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, whatever, this is the name you're going to see and use, and it's going to be very easy to recognize, and it just gives your phone a personal touch. Now one more thing I want to show you that's really cool here is if you look at this photo right here, it is going to have the same color that your phone has. So this model here is the silver blue color, and that's exactly what you see right over here. By the way, if you decide to buy the S25 Ultra, I will drop some links down below to the lowest pricing and the best incentives for the S25 Ultra. Discount information is down in the description box. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to run a quick diagnostics on your phone to make sure it is in fact 100% brand new with no problems. If after running this test you see a problem, you want to return and replace that phone before the return window runs out of time. So there's two ways to do this. Number one, you go to your settings, alright? You scroll down and you go over to the device care right over here and scroll down and you will see this diagnostics menu and you tap on it, okay? Now that's going to give you a bunch of functions, but the one we want to check is this one right here, the phone diagnostics. Check if your phone's functions are working properly. So tap on this one. Now when you get dumped into this screen, the first thing I want you guys to do before anything else is simply run a battery status check, okay? And what you want to see here is you want to see normal and you want to see life good, and it should say 5,000 milliamp hours. That's the battery status. That means at least your battery is 100%. You can tap here to test again. In my case, it's going to do the check, and there we go. Now that to me is the most important diagnostics. But you do want to go back here, and you want to make sure when you have the time to run all these tests. It's going to run the USB test, cable charging test. It may ask you to interact with the phone as you're running these tests. So that's going to be up to you. Personally, I would do the battery at least initially. Now that was one way to access the diagnostics. If you don't see it there, go into your apps and type members. That's the Samsung members application. It is pre-installed on Samsung phones. So you can go in there, you're going to see this screen, go to support, and you're going to see the phone diagnostics menu right here. It's the same exact thing. Alright, so that's that. Let's move on to the next tactic. Now I want you guys to be aware of a very special, important menu. Go to the settings, and you'll see it right here. That's your name, your Samsung account. Just want to show you guys, if you tap on it, you are able to access a lot of important settings right over here. Your Samsung profile, payments, your family, you can add family members. It's going to show you your devices, and then anything to do with your Samsung account is going to be right here. So again, very important place to be. That's your Samsung cloud storage. This is your Samsung Find. You want to set this up to make sure even if you lose your device that you can actually find it. You can locate a lost device using Samsung Find. You just want to tap on continue and set this up, Samsung Find application. So great place to be to take a look at right here. Now the next feature I absolutely love is if I go to my settings and if I go over to my advanced features right over here, okay, go to the side button, and that is this button right here. That's the power/side button. And when I double tap on the side button right now, it's going to launch the camera. Some people like that, but look at this. If I go over here, I have other options like turning on the flashlight or even launching any app that I want. So look at this. This is actually my favorite. I just pick the flashlight, and now at nighttime, if I ever need a flashlight, even when my phone is off like this, I pull this out of my pocket and I double press the button and it turns on the flashlight as you saw, okay? So that gives me a quick usable flashlight in a pinch. Or if you use an application all the time, you can program that to launch as well. So as an example, calculator app. So now when I double press this, it just launches the calculator application, okay? So you have the capability to double press this side button right here, which is great. Now I do want to talk about a new feature that is available on the S25s with One UI 7.0, which is a very nice feature. So let's go to settings, and then I'm going to scroll down over to the lock screen. I'm going to go to the now bar. This is a beautiful feature, okay? So it actually works in two different areas. Now first and foremost, I just want to show you guys, you can enable and disable a lot of applications to show up in the now bar, all right? So clock, voice recorder, I'm going to give you an example with that. So let me go to clock right now. Here it is. I'm going to set a timer. Let's set a timer for 10 minutes. Now when I pull this up, look at what happens. I get a little live activity right here. When I tap on it, I get access to the now bar. This same bar is available on the lock screen. So if I double tap on the screen, it is right here. Wake it up, right there. I can tap it to expand it and see live activity, what's going on, okay? Now look at this. If I go to my voice recorder, that's another application that can be shown in the now bar. So let's say I'm recording something. So we're right here. I'm going to tap on record, okay? So now it's recording a conversation. So look at this. It's also going to show up here, but now I have two items, so I can tap on it, and I can flick between these two items. So that's the clock, that's the recorder, and I can see what's going on. Same thing, if I'm outside, it shows up here. You can tap on it, and you can flick, you can flick the two right here. If you tap on it, you cannot flick, but if it's right here, you can flick it no problem, like this. Great little option, all right. I forgot to mention one of the best ones is the media player. So let's play some music. So I just tap on this one right here to play it, and look at what happens now. When I do this, if I go outside, I've got my music player at the bottom. Again, I can flick, or I can tap on it to expand it and control my music, as you can see. Absolutely fantastic little feature, the now bar. Now your phone has a powerful camera. I want to make sure you guys know exactly how to use it. So let me launch the camera application. I'm going to show you a couple things you need to be aware of. So when you are in the photo mode, you are right now in the main camera. That's the 1x camera. That's the 200 megapixel camera. But if you look on the top right over here, it says 12M. That's 12 megapixels. So you have a 200 megapixel camera that is by default shooting at 12 megapixels. So if you want to utilize the 200 megapixel camera, you tap on this and you choose the 200M option. So that's going to give you a much more sharper, detailed photo. And I would use that specifically if you're maybe taking a photo of a beautiful architecture. You can use this to get the sharpest quality. You can also do 50 megapixels, which is in between. But remember, by default, you are at 12 megapixels. This is great for social media, sharing photos with friends and family. But if you're doing real photography, you want to use the 200 or the 50 even to get higher quality photos. Now the same thing is true for the video. So when you go to video mode, you'll see here's your default resolution and frames per second. So when I tap it right now, I am at 1080p with 30 frames per second. I like to keep my default at 60 and full high definition. Now what if you want to record 4K? Then you tap on the UHD. That's going to be 4K recording, and you can go all the way up to 8K. That's going to be the sharpest possible video you can shoot on this phone. But normally I stick to 1080p, and if you want sharper, you go to 4K. 8K is just an extreme option you want to use maybe to capture something really beautiful. It will get you great amount of detail, but it's also going to take more space. So that's a quick thing I want you guys to be aware of with the camera. Now, one more thing you should be aware of, there's a lot of things happening here I'm going to make a full detailed video separately for the camera. But over here, when you are in the photo mode and you tap here, you can tap on the settings. That'll take you to the photo settings that you want to configure, play with, whatever. And if you go to video and you tap this button, then you tap on the settings, and that takes you into the video camera settings, okay? So just be aware of the area where you can access your settings. So that's a quick tip with the camera. Make sure you know how to utilize different megapixel options. The next thing that you want to decide has to do with your navigation. So let me show you the options. So right now I have the gesture navigation, as you can see. So if I go inside an application, and if I want to exit the application, I swipe up from the bottom. Or if I'm in a menu or any app or whatever, and I want to go back, I just swipe from the side, and that goes back. Now if you don't like that, you can have the button navigation, which some people prefer. Go to display, scroll down, and go into the navigation bar right here. And then simply choose buttons. That's going to give you a home button, a back button, and a recent app button, as you can see. Now, you can also tap on more options, and you can switch the back to this side, which is the way I like it. So now you have the home button, you got the recent app button, and then you also have the back button. I'm going to stick with the swipe gestures. With the swipe gestures, if you go up and hold, you go to your recents. All right, so you can make that choice right here. Now, if you're not aware, your phone comes with a powerful and also an extremely popular feature known as Circle to Search. Just make sure you know how to use this. So when you are in the swipe gesture, all you do is you press and hold right here, and that glows the screen. And then now what you can do is, using Circle to Search, you can search anything on the screen, which is incredible. I simply swipe something, and it's going to go to Google and search anything similar to what you selected and gets you results. So let's say I took a photo of a chair that I liked in a restaurant or at somebody's house. Look at this, what I can do. I can tap here, then I can tap for Circle to Search, and I can circle this guy, and it's going to give me results where I can actually buy that chair, and it's going to be a Google search, so it's very precise. So that's just one way to use it. Incredible feature. The next thing you want to do is you want to get yourself a very nice looking wallpaper. Now, because this is a Galaxy AI phone, we have capabilities where you can create wallpapers using AI. So look at this. All you do is pinch the screen, go to Wallpaper and Style, and then go to Change Wallpapers, and then go over here to Create with AI, and go to Generative, okay? So basically what you can do here is you have all these preset options. So let's say you want to do something imaginary. You tap on this guy, and then you tweak the parameters right here. So I can tap on lamp, I can say castle, okay? And then I can tap on flowers, I can say make me a castle built from wool. And I want it to be, let's say, yellow and teal. I tap on generate, and that's going to create a wallpaper for me using artificial intelligence. You can see we have all these options, and then I can set that as a wallpaper on my home screen for a nice customizable look. With the S25 Ultra, all these AI features work much faster than before. Now, this product has a beautiful display. You want to maximize the quality that you get out of that display. So there's a couple things you want to do. First and foremost, you go to your settings, all right? You scroll down, you go to display. Oops, right here. And then you scroll down again and go to screen resolution. Make sure it is at QHD+. By being here, you're also activating a secret feature that you're not going to see here, but it's known as the Pro Scaler feature that upscales everything to look better than any other phone on the market, even the S24 Ultra or the iPhone. So make sure this is enabled at the highest resolution, and then go back here and make sure the motion smoothness is set to adaptive. So you get the smoothest scrolling experience. Couple things you want to know over here, because you're going to be using this phone all the time. You look at the display most of the time, okay? This is something you want to enable, the Eye Comfort Shield, right before you go to bed, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours before you go to bed. You can see It's going to keep your eyes comfy by limiting the blue light and using warmer colors. Using at night can make it easier to fall asleep. So remember to enable this feature when you are about to go to bed, maybe 1 hour before. We all know you're going to be staring at that phone, looking at social media. At least go easy on the eyes. And then you can also have this enabled. I usually enable this in the daytime and disable this. This is adaptive color tone. It just balances everything out so things appear more natural. Now the other thing you want to do, and this is going to make watching movies even better, you can go to your settings and scroll down, go to advanced features right here, and then I want you guys to scroll down and go into video brightness. So tap on this one, and what you can do is you can brighten the display anytime you're watching something on an application. So as you download apps like Netflix, HBO, Crunchyroll, YouTube, they're going to show up right here, and you can enable this extra bright display for each app individually. Look at what it does. It temporarily increases the screen brightness and also makes colors more vibrant. So as you learn what it looks like, you can make adjustments based on your needs. The next thing that's very important is the speakers. The phone has amazing speakers, but what you want to do is in the settings, you want to go to sounds and vibration, and then scroll down, go to sound quality and effects, and you want to make sure Dolby Atmos is in fact enabled. That's going to get you surround sound like experience. I would keep this on auto, but if you know you're about to watch a movie, you can just go to movie, music, voice, whatever, okay? But keep this enabled. In fact, listen to something, music maybe, without this and with this, you'll immediately notice a difference. This is the better way to go. Now back here, you can also go to the equalizer, and again, as you listen to music, you can change it the way you want it. Okay, so if you want a balanced sound over here, if you want treble boost, you'll go over here. If you know exactly how to work this thing, some people do, you can customize your equalizer by tweaking these settings individually, one by one, as you can see, if you know what you're doing. The option is there for music lovers. Now there's a very important battery setting that you want to activate. Again, just go to your settings and go over to the battery right over here, and basically go over into battery protection. By default, it's turned off. So turn it on and go inside, and you're going to see you have 3 options to protect your battery. Now look at what it says here. It says keeping your battery at a full 100% charge for a long time can reduce its lifespan. So if you're the type of person that keeps your phones for a long time, I would go for maximum protection, and I would go to 90. So that's going to charge your phone up to 90%, and then it's going to stop charging. And believe it or not, that prolongs your battery's lifespan over the years. Now personally, I go with this one. I let the battery charge to 100%, but then it doesn't let the battery charge again till the battery drops down to 95%, and this works when you forget to pull the cable out. Let's say you went to sleep and you attached the cable to charge your phone, and you forgot, it's just going to keep charging it if you don't have this active. This one lets the battery die to 95 and then recharge to 100, and that will also prolong the life, but not as good as this one. I like basic or maximum, and then tweak the number. Now I do want to let you know, you have a couple shortcuts here to turn the phone on and off. So you can always double tap on the screen on an empty area to turn off the display, and just go to the lock screen, and you can double tap to wake it up, as you can see, and then go inside. Now these options are regulated right here. Under advanced features, we have motions and gestures, and here it is. Double tap to turn on, double tap to turn off. You can also do lift to wake, but here's my most favorite feature, mute with gestures. So if somebody calls you or the alarm starts to ring and you want to quickly mute that call or the alarm, make sure this is enabled, and when somebody calls you, all you do is pick the phone, boom, and it's going to mute the call. That is a great feature. Alright, so next up, let's talk about the always on display. So when I double tap here, look at what happens. It goes to my always on display. This can be turned off and on if you don't need it, okay? So look at this. If I go to my settings right over here, scroll down and go into lock screen and AOD, and here it is, always on display. You tap on it and you can disable or enable right from here, as you can see. Okay, if you disable this, there is no always on display, and that is going to prolong the battery life a little bit. Okay, so if you're a battery life person, you want to make sure that's disabled. If you like the style, then you can just go like this. I kind of like this watch here. All right, so I'm going to keep my always on display. All right, next up I'm going to talk about the lock screen customization. So when you pinch the screen, and if you tap on wallpaper and style, you are able to tap this one right here. This is the lock screen. This is the home screen. So if I tap on the lock screen, you can see the customization menu appears. So first I can tap on the wallpaper. I can pick a different wallpaper. Let's pick this one right here, just as an example. Okay, I'm going to tap on the colors. Let's do blue. Okay, so now we have a blue lock screen wallpaper. Now again, if I tap it again, I can also tap these two shortcut items at the bottom. So when I tap this, I can pick a shortcut. Okay, I can do applications. So let's say I want to launch the calculator application from this shortcut, and over here we've got the camera. I'm going to keep that as it is. So now you have the calculator and the camera shortcut, and then I can tap on the clock and I can change the styling of my clock and the coloring, as you can see. All right, so you have all these options, and I can go to style and I can do this. Look, absolutely fantastic. And I can change the size, and I can move it around as I please. So if I make the size smaller, I have the ability to move it down a little bit. So you can customize your lock screen any way that you want. So look at that. And again, the font and color can still be changed even after you pick a style. Now on top of that, you can add widgets right here. So I can add a battery widget, let's say battery status right here. I can add a device care widget right here. I can add a reminder widget right here. Okay, so you can customize it that way. So when I tap on done, now that is going to be my lock screen, and it's designed the way I want it to look like. Now when I go back inside, I'm going to show you one final thing with the lock screen. Lock screen and AOD under settings, tap on the contact information. Now here you can do two things. You can put a quote, or you can put your email address. So if you lose your phone, somebody can email you that, hey, you lost your phone. But let me give you an example. I'm just going to say Saki. I'm going to tap on done. So let's say you lost your phone, somebody picked it up, okay, and they'll see that message right here. It says Saki. But you can also put there, if found, please contact email, all right? Or you can have a quote. If you have a favorite quote, you can have it there. Just another way to personalize your device. Now here's a setting I always enable. Basically, you pinch the screen and you go to the settings. These are the home screen setting. If I scroll down, look at this. It says swipe down for notification panel. So normally to access notification panel, you go to the top and you swipe down. But sometimes if you're holding the phone like this, it's easier to just swipe like this on the screen. Just like that. So for that, I enable this. Swipe down for notification panel. Swipe anywhere on the screen for it to come down. By the way, guys, when you swipe this down and you swipe again, you can see nothing happens. Or if you do it over here, nothing is happening. If you want to access your control center, you start by the corner right here. In fact, if you go to the corner and you swipe down, you get your control center, and you can swipe this further to expand all your controls. And on top of that, you can tap on edit to actually edit your controls. Okay, so tap, I can remove stuff I'm not going to use, and I can add stuff from here that I do want to use. As you can see, they're just going over there, and now I have a customized quick toggle screen. Additionally, this is a panel. I can tap on the panel settings, and look at this. I can do separate or together. So when I do together, look at what happens. I'm going to go out. Now when I swipe this down, if I swipe again, it brings down the panel, my quick panel. So you can set that up the way you want it. Panel settings, separate. Now it's separate. So when I pull this down, it's not going to bring the quick toggles down, but if I go to the corner top, it will bring them down. So all this is under your control. You want to configure these things the way you want them. Now, by the way, under the same menu, there's so many things you can do with the home screen. So you can change the size of the apps. If you want smaller apps, you can get smaller apps, medium or large. So if I go out, you're going to see the apps are much larger. So you can do all that stuff here. You can also change the grid of the home screen to get more real estate. So I can do 5 by 6, and now you can see I can add even more apps to the side. Okay, so these are available options under the home settings. Also, you can have apps screen grid, which gives you more room to put apps in one screen in your app drawer, which is right over here. Okay, and also if you pinch the screen, you can change the folder grid. So tap on this, you can do a 4 by 4 folder. So now when I go out over here to one of my folders, it's a 4 by 4. So I can add 16 items in here. And one thing that's very important with any folder that you make is you can have a folder in its standard size like this, or press and hold and you can enlarge it like this, okay? And also with this one, the best thing is if you want to access an application, you just tap on the app and it launches it. With the smaller one, when you have it shrink like this, you have to tap and then tap. But on the other one, you tap directly. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this video. The first things to do on your Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Of course, there's going to be much more, and I'm going to have detailed videos that are going to make you the master of your smartphone. Any questions? Drop them down below. Let me know. Have a fantastic day.